Good Monday, makers. In this week's episode, we're checking out a mini desk model, a holographic cube, a farmer's market cart, a greenhouse, a bird feeder stand, a pawpaw trellis, a hot rod canopy, and several projects built by one single builder who gave us an in depth tour and walk around of a bunch of maker pipe builds, which is really cool. So let's just jump in and start looking at the builds. Kicking us off this week is a project from Lucas, and this is a mini desk model. He said it may have been overkill to get 4 mini kits, but in my eyes, it opens up more options and ability to mock up more than one build, which is really cool. And this is the first project that Lucas is wanting to do. And this is a desk, I would imagine, for, doing some work and things, but also I think he's doing some like music producing and things like that. So that's really cool. And we can see here the basic shape of the frame. It's a long rectangle. There's 90-degree connectors in the corners here. There's, four-way connectors here to add this backboard. And I think he's got some big plans for the backboard. It's going to hold up monitors and all kinds of other accessories. But this is just a great model for a desk. It's got some bracing incorporated into it with the 45-degree connectors. And there's just a lot of great building techniques incorporated into this with the four ways and the 90s kind of flipped over and oriented kind of sideways where the pipes go. There's a long horizontal pipe that goes from front to back. Normally we see, kind of flipped over, and the vertical pipe is what goes all the way to the top, and then the flat surface on top will sit on top of this vertical pipe. But flipped over like this is also just fine, and is a great way to do it as well. And I just think it looks awesome, and I can't wait to see it come together and be, a finished desk. So thanks so much, Lucas, for sharing this. Can't wait to see the progress. Definitely share it with us as you move forward with the build. It's going to be awesome to see. Thanks so much for posting this in the community. Next up is a holographic cube, and this is from Ken, who is a circus performer and does all kinds of amazing stunts and just performances. And they recently built a maker pipe cube, really simple, as you can imagine, using 90-degree connectors in the corners to create just a box. And then they put some kind of a mesh, it looks like a really thin mesh screen around the whole cube, so it allows you to see inside of it still, but it also projects things on it, as we can see here. There's all kinds of lights and just amazing stuff being projected on it as he is doing this performance inside in this stunt using, looks like he's got LEDs on this kind of baton, or I'm not really sure exactly what you call it, but it's just really awesome nonetheless. And it's really cool they were able to use MakerPipe to make the cube and incorporate it into their performance. So really awesome, Ken. Thanks so much for posting that. Did a great job and looks awesome. Thanks for posting it in the Facebook group. Next up is a build from Bill, and this is the mini projects with MakerPipe. He posted a review on the store, which we really appreciate, and he just kind of goes through and shows all the different things that he's done with MakerPipe. First up is this really heavy-duty stool. You can see used 90-degree connectors to create the kind of rectangle here, and he used them in the same way that Lucas did in the mini desk, where they're kind of flipped over, and the horizontal pipe runs from front to back through the kind of middle part of the connector here, and then the vertical that goes down, and then the side to side horizontal pipe in the front is in the terminating parts of the 90-degree connector. And then it looks like they used T connectors going from one side to the other and added some grip tape on there, it looks like, just to keep from slipping off whenever you stand on the top of the stand. They've got some threaded pipe inserts on the end with, as you can see, the rubber threaded feet that go in, and just to create a step stool for. Said I think they said they have uneven terrain most of the time when they're trying to get in and out of the van. So having something like that is really useful, and I can imagine why, just having an extra step there. Then he goes inside the van, and he's got all this storage inside of the van, inside this work van here, built with MakerPipe. And we can see it's loaded down with stuff, but you can kind of get glimpses of connectors and conduit. There's a 180-degree connector there. And basically, I imagine Bill just made a kind of exoskeleton that sits against the walls of the van, and then to use connectors wherever to kind of build out that exoskeleton. And then you can see the saws and grinders are just hung up there on the pipes, and they're just kind of resting on it. It looks like there's some magnets incorporated. Actually, maybe not. Maybe that's just what are those called? Not really like pavers, I guess, but the smooth dowels and things. Or no, it's not dowels, trowels, I think. My mind's going blank. But anyway, those are just resting on the pipes. There's hoses and all kinds of stuff just built into this storage solution with Maker Pipe. Then on this side, he even built shelving system that is not kind of flat against the wall, but actually has some depth to it, which allows him to put saws and other things on top of it, and just created an all-in-one epic storage solution for this van. And I think we talked about this on the channel a while ago. I think he shared some pictures, and I'll be sure to link the individual posts for each of these projects down below if there was one in the past. And but yeah, looks awesome inside the van, all this storage. Then he kind of walks around back, and you can see he built a kind of lean-to storage solution next to this outdoor storage building as well. And it's just, looks like T connectors, I think, to make this storage solution. And it just has a little bit of an angle to it just to allow, the rain and whatnot to roll off. And then he's got T connectors going down all the way to the ground there. And then it looks like just some kind of, we see a lot of the poly reinforced tarps. It seemed like a great solution for this kind of stuff. It looks like he's got that secured to the frame and kind of pulled tight, which is a great idea and looks like it's working awesome to keep the weather out. That's another great project that he did. And then he keeps on going, and I think we go around back. He's got something very similar, and I guess that same storage solution maybe wraps all the way around or just kind of starts again on the back, and he's just got more of a dry storage space, and he's got those flat, tall bushes back here that I would imagine add, just another kind of privacy screen there, so you don't have to worry about anybody seeing from that side. But he's got that same kind of tarp pulled tight over the top, just more T connectors and pipes to create the storage shed. And it just looks awesome. Looks like it's working great for some more storage space. Then he keeps on going, and I think he's got another storage shed built pretty much in the exact same way, attached to maybe a garage or another storage shed back here. As you can see, pretty similar design, just a different tarp kind of pulled tight on it. And it's not finished yet. It goes around, and here's more storage. Very similar design again, but I think this is for bikes. And, similar design, but as you can see, this time it's got a front wall as well as the back wall there. And he's got all the bikes in here stored, which is a great solution. Open up some space inside the garage or storage shed and get those outside while still keeping them safe and dry is awesome, because once he goes inside the storage shed, you can see he's got this awesome workshop area. Imagine a good place to work on bikes and just store tools and do all kinds of different things in here. And he's built another storage shelf with Maker Pipe and conduit. And it looks very similar to the one inside of his van. A lot of the times you can build the same kind of design for shelves using T connectors and 180s and 90s. You can build simple shelf structures that fit to your space based on the custom dimensions of the conduit using the same connectors, if that makes sense. But I think this is the last build he shows in the video, and just so much cool stuff and so many projects with MakerPipe. Really appreciate Bill posting this review and sharing all the projects because it's super cool. It says endless projects, and he said he's still thinking of things to do in the future. Thanks, Dave and the crew. Well, thank you, Bill, for posting your review and sharing your builds. Really awesome to see. Love seeing that video and review. Next up is a build from Bob, and this is a repurposed cart kit. So we've got the kayak cart kit, which builders have used to build a kayak cart, but Bob took that same kit and basically used the connectors that come in that kit and then repurposed the actual, connectors and kind of the techniques from the kayak cart kit to build this, what did he call it? Oh my goodness, just slipped my mind. Farmer's market cart. So basically, you can see all the same connectors that are used in the kayak cart, the 45-degree connectors, the T connectors. We've got 90-degree connectors in the corners, but basically just built this frame that holds this basket here perfectly inside the cart, kind of low to the ground, has the same axle method as the kayak cart, where the conduit runs from one side to the other, and it's got a threaded rod with a shim between the rod and the conduit, and then from there you can just build off. It's got even the kickstand on the front, and then on the top, it's got this nice bent U-shaped handle. What looks like some kind of like a rubber tape or something, just creating a nice soft handle to grab onto. But as you can imagine, going to the farmer's market, you want to carry stuff around, you buy some stuff, you don't want to, have to carry it all or put it all in bags and carry 5 different bags. So he's got this basket here with all the bags inside, and I imagine this is a pretty great storage solution in a cart that you can roll around a farmer's market. So that's really awesome, Bob. Really cool to see that you customized the kayak cart. That is something cool that you can do. We've seen it recently with all kinds of different projects. The simple desk kit was turned into a plant stand over a trash can, and then a side table for a dog kennel. So you can get those kits and kind of follow along to do kind of the techniques and hacks inside them, but repurpose them into something custom for yourself, which is what Bob did, and it's really cool to see. So thanks so much for sharing that. Really great. Next up is a greenhouse from Kana, and this is also in the Facebook group. And this is a rebuilt greenhouse. I think she had some other solution in the past, and she had to rebuild it. And here we can see the mini model first. Looks like 6 verticals with 135-degree connectors, creating the pitched roof that goes up to 90-degree connectors in the middle. And then there's just some simple bracing with 45-degree connectors, and then a long horizontal pipe that kind of runs the middle length of the greenhouse as well. That's the mini model. There's some close-ups of the bracing. And then here it is, completely built. And we don't really get a good look at the frame, but it's got the plastic on it. And we can see there's the 6 verticals going down the walls. And then we can see it's got the pitched angle. She's using the greenhouse clips to hold the greenhouse plastic on the frame. And that's the greenhouse all put together, and is a nice protectant for the plants inside. And she said that they should be able to survive. They don't get that cold of weather, but I mean, right now everybody's getting that crazy cold front, so it was probably a good thing in hindsight to do to protect the plants. And as you can see, here's the construction, and then the greenhouse plastic. I believe somebody asked where she got it, and it looks like on Amazon it was a 12 by 20 feet waterproof for greenhouse outdoors. So check out that link if you want to build something similar and use that same plastic. But great project, Kana, or Kana. Sorry if I'm mispronouncing that. Really love seeing it. It looks like a great project to protect the plants. Next up is another review, and this was left on the T connector, and this is nice and simple. We always love when you finish a project, whether you use one connector or if you're like Bill and you got 30 different projects. And Roger, who is a retired machine designer, that's really awesome. And he's got this just one single vertical pipe that goes up and supports the greenhouse. And then off of there, he just used a single T connector to branch off, has this pipe going to the front, and he's holding on, looks like these 2 bird feeders. And I just noticed a cool little hack. He's using the off the shelf coupling just secured on the end there to basically act as a simple kind of a bump stop, I guess you could say, for this wire on top of the bird feeder, just to keep it from sliding back and forth. It just kind of sits in between the 2 set screws. So that's really clever. And like I said, just nice and simple. One single connection with a pipe going out to support the bird feeders and just hold them up. So really awesome. Really great. Roger, thanks so much for posting that review. Glad that you had a good experience and were able to finish your birdhouse because it looks great. Next up is a Pawpaw Trellis, and I think Dave talked to this gentleman on the phone. This is from James, and he posted this video, and he kind of goes through, and I like the way he did this video because he basically just goes picture by picture, and you just kind of see it come together, and we'll just kind of go through and look at it that way. So here he is cutting the conduit, and you can see here that he basically created, it looks like 6 or 8, I think it's 8 total vertical pipes that go up and then have a slight bend, maybe like a 30-degree bend, and then they're cut off short there. And then he's got another 8 set of just straight pipes cut, and then he connects those together first using the 1/2 inch adapter shims. So that's 3/4 inch PEX, I believe. Yeah, because I think it's 3/4 inch conduit, or no, 1/2 inch conduit. Sorry, with the 3/4 inch to 1/2 inch adapter shims that we have, so you can build with 1/2 inch conduit and the 3/4 inch connectors. But he's got the shims put on there. Then he starts to put everything together, and basically he's putting the straight pipes and the pipes with the 30-degree bend or that small bend together with couplings, as you see there. And I like how he's got the shims in place and kind of knows ahead of time where to put the upcoming connectors. But he created these verticals and the kind of the roof angle with the couplings, and then combining those 2 pieces that we saw him cutting. Here it is put together with a 90-degree connector at the top, and he's connected the 2 sides together there using the 90 degrees. And then here it is. He's got those four, actually it looks like five, one, two, three, four, five kind of roof pitches and everything. And he's got five of those spaced apart. And then he puts a long horizontal pipe in between all of these panels here, we'll call them. He's got, all five of them connected to this long horizontal pipe that just goes inside of the 90-degree connectors. And then he even adds some more bracing on the sides using 180-degree connectors and T connectors, as you can see here. And he puts all of those together, and it looks like cuts more conduit between them, and then gets the whole thing put together, and then has the completed. I guess this is going to be more of a greenhouse kind of rather than a trellis, but I think it's going to kind of do both. Whenever Dave talked to him on the phone, and it's really cool because I had never heard of a pawpaw plant before, but apparently it's the only North American native fruit, which is really awesome. I never heard of a pawpaw. I call my grandfather Papa, but I've never heard of a pawpaw plant. So that's really cool. And it's a great project from James. Thanks so much for sharing this video with all the pictures. It turned out really awesome, as you can see here. Now all it needs is just some netting going up, and it looks like got a lot of plants in here that can trellis on it. You can even put some greenhouse plastic on the outside if you're expecting some cold weather. So really great project. Thanks so much for posting that in the Facebook group. We love seeing it. And last but not least is a Hotrod Canopy. And this comes from Jim, who also posted it in the Facebook group. And this is a hot rod, as you can see, looks super awesome. Don't know much about the hot rod side of it. We'd love to know. Love engines and cars and things, so this is cool. And but we can see there's a canopy attached here that's custom made, and it's made out of maker pipe. And we can see here some of the construction. And here's how it's bolted to the body of the hot rod. Looks like it just drilled through the conduit, maybe squished it a little bit to kind of flatten it out. And then there's a bolt that runs through the conduit and into this mount on the side of the body here. There's a washer and then a nut there to kind of hold that pipe in place. And then that goes up, and let's see if we can see some more pictures. Okay, so this goes up from that mount, goes up here. You've got some of the pre-bent 90s secured with the off-the-shelf couplings there. Then he added kind of a branch off of that to kind of give support to the front and middle part of the canopy using a 45-degree connector, and then another pre-bent 90 in each of the corners with couplings holding the vertical or horizontal pipe, excuse me. And those are all connected there. And then we can see here it is with the canopy on top, and it just basically hooks onto the front windshield bar here, and then is stretched out over the canopy, goes all the way down. Looks like it's secured in a lot of different ways around the outer edge of the body and the top here, and it just pulls tight and looks fantastic on there. And here it is all put together on the frame. He said he's driven it in 60 plus mile an hour, um, you know, going 60 plus miles an hour, and the wind, it's been fine. It hasn't, picked it up and carried it away. And he said it's strong. So that's awesome to hear. Such a great project. And we love seeing all these projects. Thanks everybody for posting them. You can find more details about each of them linked down below. And if you want to keep posting your builds, you can do it on social media or in the community. You can send it to us through text or email, whatever is easiest for you. We just love seeing builds and sharing them with the community. Thanks everybody for watching. Hope you have a good week and Happy New Year coming up. And we'll see you in the next video.